Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, March 25th. Recapping some of our news stories that we've been following this week. ICE continues to be deployed to airports around the United States in an attempt to theoretically cut down on line times at TSA check-in. Doesn't seem to be making a marked impact at these airports. They are, today versus couple of days ago, they're actually doing a little bit more in terms of interacting with airline passengers, picking up luggage, moving things around, not monitoring the scanning technology per se, but they're, making sure you take off your shoes, put things in the bin, so on and so forth. TSA agents continue to be frustrated and are saying that they are not seeing any improvement. And more importantly, from their perspective, the ICE agents are really not doing anything to help move things along. So it's kind of hitting as a not really useful thing. Wait times continue to be insane at some of the bigger airports. Houston, George Bush Intercontinental Airport had 4-hour line times at certain points during the day. So it's still pretty bad. If you are flying this week, again, same thing. Make sure you're hanging on to a passport when you're flying. Even though you are a U.S. citizen, carry your passport anyway, just in case. Make sure you check your local airport will have security line wait time estimates online, so you can get an idea of what those times look like. So plan accordingly. And sometimes you're going to get to the airport really, really early. Sometimes it's going to be just an absolute rush through the gate. Adjacent to this, Delta Airlines has stopped, for the time being, its program designed to help make it easier for members of Congress to navigate the airport quickly to get from their checkpoint to the gate in a timely manner. And they are pretty emphatic that this is not changing until budget gets resolved and we see movement on that area. No movement reported from Congress on this today, which is interesting because yesterday it looked like they were thinking about overriding Trump's statements that he does not want this voted on unless there is accompanying movement on the SAVE Voting Act, which is going through. So, stasis, typical Monday, it's a hump day, so that's where that's at. News with Iran. We are starting off with reporting from NBC, carried by other sources, that at this point in time, Trump's initial daily briefing of what's been happening in Iran the night before is basically a 2-minute video montage of the highlights. Now, if you are into the entertainment industry in Hollywood, this is something that they call a sizzle reel. It's a 2 to 3 minute thing where the producer and showrunners put together the best hits off of the pilot episode, and then they'll walk around the various conferences shopping it to people and saying, hey, look at how cool my thing is. So Trump is basically getting a sizzle reel. The problem is the sizzle reel is not matching up then with what he turns around and reads off of the headlines. He's getting agitated and confused and very confrontational because he sees videos of big booms and says, oh, this is great, everything is going well, and then he turns on mainstream news media who says the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. He can't reconcile those two things. He's frustrated and he's very agitated. That is reflecting in posting that he is doing on Truth Social. He is insisting that there is an active negotiation process going on with Iran. Iran says otherwise. There continues to be some indicators coming out of Farsi and Arabic media sources saying there may be a meeting in Pakistan towards the weekend. We're kind of in, I'll believe it when I see it. Along with this, Iran is actively negotiating with other countries to generate a safety corridor that they can transit in and out of the Gulf for a fee. So basically, they are putting a toll booth on the Strait of Hormuz and saying, you pay us X number of dollars. I've seen $2 million floated as the fee to go back and forth. We will give you the information to help safely navigate the straits. This is not something that I'm seeing argument or counters from the shipping industry, so I'm tending to think that that's probably a reasonably accurate assessment coming out of that. So we're kind of, again, in a spot where U.S. media is not researching any deeper on what's going on. We're kind of having to rely on foreign media resources to check and see what exactly is going on with everything. And the last thing I want to note is there is a reasonable chance you will see videos starting to circulate online that purport to be of phone calls between Trump and Iran, with Trump breaking down, having tears, saying, "Oh, woe is me, Iran, please open up the Gulf." I would like to remind you that Iran's technical experiences are such. They are very good at putting out video, audio, and intercepting American-based tech and signals. So if you are seeing those videos pop up, again, this is still maybe category, that's going to need to be triple and quadruple checked, because Iran does have access to good commercial AI software and can make these propaganda videos and disinformation videos and pump them out into the atmosphere. Please, 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 if you cannot take time to double check a video link before you post it, don't reshare that link unless you are aware of the sourcing and unless you are able to verify it at least off of one European, France 24 is a great example, or a legacy US media company. You need to verify before you share. I get that we're all stressed. I get that people want to see something moving. Check your stuff before you're posting it. That's the only request I have, because it's going to get a little interesting over the next couple of days. There are other stories brewing. I will try to put together a morning hit so that we can go over some of the other things that have popped during the course of the day. But these are the big ones to just be aware of as we roll into Thursday. Everyone have a great night.